Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's our big 8 o'clock hour, and we're fired up, ready to go. We got an update on the Virginia elections for you. We're going to talk about the hysteria over Trump's improvements of the White House, because no president ever has done such a thing except about a dozen presidents, and astounding news about peanut allergies. All that coming up. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
I feel like we triggered Byron York. He's such a cool, calm, collected guy. And then
Who knew?
I mentioned Halloween, and he's like full jihad against houses that go overboard.
I'm with him. I love it.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. A lot of our listeners, I bet you any money, we've got a ton of WMAL listeners they're that house. They're that guy.
This is the thing.
Who plans it all year long.
But this is the thing. I bet that they decorate for every holiday, as opposed to the weirdos who only do it on Halloween.
Oh, that's diabolical. That's
Yeah.
Those are the women with the black rimmed glasses that change the logo of Cracker Barrel.
Don't make me put them on.
Ugh. Merianne Jenson is a Prince William County mom. She's used to going up against those women. You know who I'm talking about. And down at the Prince William County School Board, they've got plenty of diabolical men as well, like the Vice Chair, Tracy Blake. We're going to unpack all of that now with her. Merianne, always great to talk with you. Thanks for fighting the good fight down there.
Good morning, guys. I feel like I'm always on the show and I've caused a ruckus in our county.
That's true. You are You're a troublemaker, but we like that about you. You're a good troublemaker. If you're speaking, that's the thing. I'm scrolling my X feed and it's like Merianne Jenson is at the podium with a microphone. All right, I got to click on this video. Something's happening. And in this case, you were raising a really important issue. Your son, inspired by the horrific, violent assassination of Charlie Kirk 40 days ago, decided, like so many other teenage boys and girls around the country, to open up a chapter of Turning Point USA at your local Prince William County High School. Then what happened?
So my son is the vice chair, and his friend Sam decided to start a Turning Point chapter. And it was something that I had to really encourage my son to do, because he's kind of embarrassed of me and what I do in the county and all the ruckus that I cause. But I really encouraged him. I told him it was important. And so he and his friend Sam went head on and filled out all the papers and tried to get a sponsor, and they could not get a sponsor. It took days and days and days, and there was no support from the teachers. And they ended up having to jump through hoops and get a substitute teacher who doesn't even work at the high school to be their sponsor. So that was the first hurdle. And then it took a lot of corresponding back and forth with the principal to try to get things. You know, we had to show him the Equity Act and the Equal Class Act to show that there can be a club in the high school. Anyway, it took weeks to get approved. Since then, the students up there have been sending around a petition to get it removed from the high school. All the while, the Young Democrats Club just got approved, and the LGBTQ Club has been up there and with no problem being sponsored. Kids are ripping down their posters for advertising the club, and that's how that all started. Do you want me to talk about the school board, or you want to ask me questions?
We'll get further into it. We will, but go ahead, Julie.
Yeah, no. What is the status of the TPUSA club that your son is trying to start
at the high school? It just got approved. Barely got approved, but that was after email after email, and the principal had to work with the attorneys, had to respond to my email, letting him know that there was the ripping down of posters and the petition. And I mean, it's ridiculous that it's taken this long.
Well, and you had to go to the school board and actually talk about the resistance. You talked about intimidation on the part of some of the people who were asked to sponsor this. Tell us about that, and tell us about who the sort of smug, smiling school board member who wasn't so kind when you were speaking in front of them.
Yeah, so Tracy Blake is actually the vice chair of the school board, and he interrupted a conversation on October 1st between Ms. Turdenick and Ms. Wall. They are the two conservative school board members, and they were just talking about some of the resistance, some of the things that were going on, and how we got to get the support to these kids. And Tracy overheard their conversation and kept pushing and prodding about which club it was, which club. And they didn't want to talk about it because they didn't want an outburst at the school board meeting.
Yeah.
And they finally said, it's the turning point. And he just came unglued, just unleashed. It was like a vial. I didn't see it, but I had several witness accounts that told me about it. And in her face, screaming at her, yelling at her, how it's a racist club and we don't need that, crap in our schools, except he didn't use those words. I mean, just completely unhinged. And then as she was walking out of the building later that night, he came at her again and, expletives, all of that. And so she was very shaken and told me about it. And I just said, no way. And I felt somewhat to blame because I was the one that was pushing this chapter in their school. But I thought these kids need to have equal opportunities, and there should not be that intimidation and that violence and bullying over a club where kids are handing out American constitutions and giving flags at their booth. Well, so anyway, that's where that all started.
Considering Mr. Blake, who has now found himself on the Prince William County School Board, has a history of criminal felony charges dating back to over a decade, including possessing narcotics, illegally carrying a loaded concealed weapon, DUIs. He spent time in jail on house arrest. Maybe he should just, tamp it down a bit instead of starting screaming and getting in people's faces, fellow elected board members.
Right.
And they have moved to censure him publicly. Oh, big deal. But has that actually been approved? Did the board vote that, or are they just making the motion?
Yes, they did. They voted. They finally voted on Saturday. It was 6-2, which I thought for sure. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. But can I just say one thing about the violence and all of that? Yeah. I found his criminal record before he even ran, and I ran it with an attorney, and he explained all of these charges to me. And I thought, this is too big. This is too big to be sitting on. So I sent it to the media. They sat on that information for months and months and months and came out with a story the week before the elections praising him and showing how he's changed his life and what an incredible man he is. And so it could have damned him, but they held on to it purposely so it wouldn't hurt him until the elections. It was just gross.
I'm sure he got the J. Jones endorsement there as well.
So, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is where Prince William County is now. And again, Merianne, you've sort of been the canary in the coal mine as the makeup of Prince William County has changed, and it's been reflected in these elected bodies. Although we have seen some trending in the better direction and the other direction. What are your fellow parents saying? And is there actually still a chance to sort of redirect how Prince William County is led down there at the school board level?
I wish I had more hope for you, Larry. We're all getting to the point where we show up for school board meetings. They don't listen. Like Mr. Blake literally laughed and smirked during my speech.
Yeah.
I know several board members who think the gender ideology is nonsense, but they need it for votes and they need it to go along, be a good little Democrat. I mean, they've literally told me that out of their mouths, that they don't want to piss off the Democrats, so they have to go along with it. They don't want boys and girls bathrooms either, but they are selling their soul for votes.
Yep.
And so I wish I could say that it was going in a good direction. I think they're hiding behind the Grimm case with this boys and girls bathrooms. I know they don't want boys and girls bathrooms, but they don't want to get out of line, and so they're hoping it gets overturned so they don't have to be the bad guys. I think there's common sense on that school board, but they're just afraid to speak out about it.
Well, when you have people like, Tracy Blake out there scaring people,
I'm
sure
afraid too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Trust me, your son's going to figure it out. He's going to get a little older. I've got every boy your son's age is embarrassed by their mom over one thing or another. But I promise you, in his heart, he is very proud of you, and he will defend you left and right. If
we
necessary.
are proud of you. You do
Absolutely.
great work.
Oh, thanks, guys. I got to do what I have to do, so I can wash my hands clean at the end of the day and say I've done everything I can to protect my kids, even if it means sticking my head out my neck out on the line and getting persecuted by my community.
Well, that's what it takes sometimes to stand by the truth, a bigger truth, a greater truth than
that's
than
right.
we're living through. Thank you, Merianne. Always
great.
good to talk to you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You bet.
Bye-bye.